Hello my friends and beautiful humans, welcome back to a new video. I've spent the last few days living on the road and camping out of my car, a practice that might sound odd to some, but that I can never get enough of, especially now that the warmer days of summer are upon us. Purposely driving far enough into the wilderness to be out of service, I have no choice but to tune into nature, swapping the endless emails and anxieties for the fresh air and the sound of the birds and rivers, my books, and the simple hands-on tasks of making campfires, food, and simply putting one foot in front of the other as I explore these surrounding mountains and am reminded just how small my worries actually are in the grand scheme of things. I've never filmed much of my car camping adventures over the last few years, so I thought this time I'd take you all along for the ride and share some glimpses into my last few days on the road. Good morning everyone! So I just realized that I've never actually given you all the official tour and introduction to my lovely car, Sir Dusty Casanova, whom I named that 7 years ago when I got him because of the color of the car, a nice dusty brown color, perfect to hide all the real dust and dirt from all the adventures I take him on. And Casanova because I think he's the sexiest car I've ever had, quirks and all, pieces falling apart, but he still runs smooth and fine. He's a 2010 Toyota RAV4, and I've spent many days, weeks, even months of my life camping and living out of this vehicle across BC, Alberta, up to the Yukon a few times, down south to California, all around the Rocky Mountains. I think I put a couple 100,000 kilometers on him by now in the last 7 years. And I figured now might be a good a time as ever to show you my car camping situation. Now, I'll warn you, this is definitely not a luxury van camping situation, but I do want to show that it is entirely possible to live semi-comfortably out of an SUV. You don't need anything super fancy to still have fun and be affordable. So I will give you all the quick tour. Here we go. Now, please don't mind how messy my car is, but imagine with me the full setup. This is my camping mattress that fits perfectly in my Toyota RAV4, and when I blow it up, I have a blower upper thing plugs into the front of the car, and then I just move my heavy suitcase and everything from the mattress to the front seats, push the front seats forward as far as I can, blow up the mattress, and it stretches perfectly from the very back door here to the very front of the seats, and I can lay fully stretched out like a real bed. The only issue is it's perfect for me and Pepper, but when my partner Chris joins us, he's like 6'4" and is a little tall, so he has to sleep at a bit of an angle, and then my space is a little squishier, and then Pepper takes up amazingly more space than any of us combined. So you can imagine it gets a little squishy, but for now, especially while Chris is away, Pepper and I fit perfectly in here. And then these are my ratty curtains that I sewed with the help of my mom, and they're just attached by Velcro here and wire hooks here. Put those during the day, and I tie them with these little tie things, and I keep them closed during the night just to keep out any light from keeping me asleep or creepy people. Actually, there's not many creepy people around, it's mostly nosy animals trying to look in while I'm trying to sleep. So on this side we have my nighttime pouch where I keep my chapstick and eye drops and the book that I like to read in the evenings, and any toiletries in this zipper pocket, and water bottle or anything in this side. It's pretty handy. It's made by Luno, which is also the same company that made this camping mattress underneath here, and they make mattresses that fit in any kind of car or SUV. So if you're looking for something like that, check it out, because it fits perfectly around the wheel wells and everything. Perfectly sized for this Toyota RAV4, which I love. And then this is a little light that Chris set up for me, just attached to the back of the chair. so I can read at night with that nice glow. And then behind these seats, we stuff in all the bags of food and, coffee supplies. Pepper's food. We have bear spray in the door just in case we need it. And Pepper chilling in the front. And then up top here, we have the car topper, which fits all of our actual camping gear, our stoves and dishes and camping chairs and backpacks and sleeping bags, and there's a lot of supplies up there. Hiking boots, muck boots, climbing helmets, ice screws, all the outdoorsy gear. And I'm so glad we got that car topper, because we used to stuff all of our camping gear down here too, and then it was just impossible to move everything to the front when we had to sleep at night back here. So having a car topper is a game changer. But yeah, I've had this car 7 years now, and I really hope that he'll last for several more yet. But we did take Dusty into the Toyota shop recently to get a few things checked over. Some of the engine lights were coming on, but he still drives totally fine. So we took him in, and basically they kept the car for a couple of days and then quoted us $16,000 to fix some things that had gone wrong internally. Apparently my windshield has been leaking since before I even got this car, and it's damaged some of the wiring or something inside. Something to do with the O2 sensor has been messed up. And because it's an older car, apparently it's going to cost like $16,000 to fix that. And I don't have that kind of money. I am not rich in the least. I only spent $10,000 on this car 7 years ago, so I'm not about to drop $16,000 into fixing it. They did tell us to start looking for a new car, but at the same time, cars are so expensive. I don't know about where you live, but here at least on the western side of Canada, everything is so expensive now. So a new car is definitely out of the equation right now. Ideally, in the future, I would love to upgrade to a van. I know I just said that it's possible to camp out of a SUV like this, but I do see the comfort of living more full-term in a van, especially when there's two of us. This car is fine for just me and Pepper, but with Chris as well, it would be so much more comfortable to have a proper full-size bed and a kitchen inside the van where we could cook when it's raining and storming, and dreams. It would be so nice, but right now I can't afford anything. So if you happen to be a nice van company or somebody who wants to sponsor me, just hit me up. But meanwhile, we'll see how much longer Dusty lasts. I'm really hoping that we might get another couple of years out of him yet and make the next vehicle decision at a later time. So we are at our new campground for the night, or the next couple of nights. Just had dinner at the picnic table, and I'm pretty impressed with myself for having built this fire in record time. It's 9:30 now, so I'm gonna set up a camping chair, enjoy the fire with Pepper, and a glass of wine sneakily poured in my coffee mug, and maybe read my book, but more likely I'm probably gonna do a bit of journaling tonight and just enjoy some me time. With you too, of course, Pepper, don't you worry. Want to sit by the fire? Yeah, let's. There is something about sitting with the fire and letting it play on the senses. The sound of the crackling sparks keeps me in the present, and feeling the warmth radiate while being mesmerized by the dancing flames, I find is soothing for both my body and mind. When I think back on every evening I've spent next to a fire, I realize it's probably the most relaxed I've ever felt, both in times of companionship, surrounded by circles of good friends, and also when alone. There is a feeling of comfort that arises that I wish to hold on to forever. though soon Pepper had enough and, at his older age of 13, was ready to hop into bed and tuck himself in. I stayed up a little longer to enjoy the quiet solitude of the night, soaking in every moment. So, the original plan today was that I was gonna go swimming in this new beautiful turquoise water swimming hole that I discovered yesterday, which I should have gone swimming yesterday, but I decided to come back today, and now I regret because it is pouring rain and so windy, and even some snowflakes mixed in with the rain right now. So, change of plan. I'm not going swimming. So instead, I just drove up to Edith Cavell Glacier here in Jasper. This road is usually closed for most of the year, but it just opened today, which makes me super happy because it's one of my favorite spots in the world. So we drove all the way up here. Saw a black bear on the way up, which was pretty cool. But now that I just got to the parking lot and the heavens decided to just start pouring down, so I've been sitting here for the last hour eating chocolate and filling up on kettle-cooked jalapeno peanuts and making crumb messes all over. So while we wait for this rain to clear up, I thought I might take the opportunity to show you all my reading material while I'm here camping. This is Mother magazine, and this is actually my photo on the cover, which I'm so honored and proud to have been in this edition. This is volume 2, and it's my favorite magazine in the world, and this one came out in October last year. But I hadn't read through the whole thing yet just because I'd been so busy all year. The amazing woman who put this magazine together, Melissa Schaefer, she just released the 3rd edition of Mother magazine, and that one is waiting for me at my parents' house where I'll be heading tomorrow. So I thought before I get there, I want to finish off the last few stories in volume 2 that I hadn't read yet. I was so honored when Melissa, the creator of this magazine, reached out to me last year and wanted me to write an article for it. And she ended up wanting to use one of my images on the cover as well, which blew my mind because a bunch of the females already in these magazines are people I look up to like crazy. To be a part of this project just totally made my year. But yeah, my article is called Spirit of the Trees, and I wrote a little story about my connection to the forest where I grew up in beautiful British Columbia. And few more of my Spirit of the Tree images. And this one, and a little poem about dancing with the trees because I'm a nerd like that and I like to dance with nature. And the final photo in my article. And then there's so many more amazing pieces that I've just been reading through now in preparation for volume 3, which is waiting for me to get tomorrow. I'll always love any opportunity I get to share and support this magazine because it's made up of all these incredible female photographers, artists, creatives, and storytellers. And we all collectively share this deep love for Mother Nature. And it's through these stories that we want to express that love and that we all strive to create a change for the world and to help conserve Mother Nature better in the future. So yeah, it's a non-profit magazine and it's for such a great cause, and it's honestly the most beautiful magazine I've ever seen. Like, seriously, all these photos and stories are amazing. It is limited edition. I think this one, volume 2, has run out now. But volume 3 was just released, so I'll drop a link to that in the description of this video so you can go get yours. Because you need it, it is so beautiful and it goes towards a good cause. Alright, I think it is done raining for now. So speaking of Mother Nature, I'm going to go out and stare at a glacier and contemplate life. Care to join me? Let's do this. If we take the time to sit in silence and really listen, life often has a way of quietly drawing you closer to the things that matter, letting the winds guide us to places of contemplation, where if we observe with open eyes and hearts, we begin to notice the underlying connection between ourselves and the mountains, the glaciers, the stars. And then, sometimes, life also grabs you by the shoulders and shakes you to the core, reminding you to wake up and be here fully, to feel everything, and to love deeply. Since filming these moments, we lost a shining star in our mountain community, a friend who chased life to the fullest and taught us to wake up each day striving to grow a little more, to be a little kinder, to connect a little closer, and to leave no room for regrets. While editing this video now, I'm feeling both deeply shaken and yet strangely perhaps more grounded than I've ever felt before, with a renewed sense of awareness and appreciativeness that each moment is only fleeting. It's a strange and beautiful thing, this experience of being alive, and I hope for each of us that we can lean into it more fully, revering in these moments while we can, hearts open to the beauty and connection all around us. So tonight is my last night of this fine little solo camping trip. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, Pepper and I will head almost to Vancouver, BC. It's about an 8-hour drive from here. And we'll be going to my parents' house to spend the week there. And then next week, I fly to Iceland to lead a couple of creative retreats there, which I am so nervous and excited at the same time, but I've always had this fear of being in the spotlight and having people look to me for not just leadership, but to learn how to create things, or like how I do photography, because I'm the one who's organized and put together these retreats. And Chris and I'm going to meet Chris there, by the way. He's in Mongolia right now, but he will be flying straight from Mongolia to Iceland, and I will meet him there just in time to start our retreats. But yeah, these are the first ever retreats that I've ever planned and organized, and everything all on my own. which is kind of crazy considering how introverted I am, and that this is also my worst nightmare ever to lead or like to be with people, to lead people. But last year, for the first time in my life, I just kind of got that desire to share what I know and share beautiful places that I know and create an experience for people that will mean something to them and that will stick with them. And I got excited thinking about that, so I put together these retreats, and it sold out immediately, the first one, so that's when I launched the second one back to back, and they both sold out pretty much immediately, which is wild to me. I can't believe that people actually want to come with Chris and I on these creative adventures in beautiful places, but it's still terrifying because I guess there's part of me that doesn't fully believe that I'm going to bring enough to the table, that people will get what they wanted out of a week with me. I don't know. I've just always felt that way every time there's some kind of pressure on me to lead anything. The anxiety kicks in, the stomach butterflies, have to poop all the time, maybe too much information, but there you go. So yeah, in the past for like photo shoots and stuff, it always terrifies me, but it has always been worth it after when I do these things with people. So I'm really hoping these retreats will be the same way. I'm super nervous, but also for the first time ever, I'm like equally excited as I am nervous. And I think that when I really go deep into it, I think I really am ready to share my passions with people and to create experiences for people and to step out of my comfort zone. I think it's not just bringing something to others, but I think these retreats are going to bring something to me that I need to help build myself up as well, you know? I keep thinking also that instead of thinking how I normally do, like what's the worst that can happen, blah, 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 I'm trying to retrain my brain to think more along the lines of, what if everything went perfectly amazing? What if I didn't need to worry about any of this because it all worked out in the end? What if I could fully trust that the best is going to happen, that things that I can't even imagine? What if everything does work out? So I'm trying to soak in that kind of frame of mind a little bit more, which is really helping. Even just saying that now, I can feel my heart rate slowing down already in a good way. So this is the stuff that's been on my mind for the last month leading up to this retreat. In the past, for stuff like this, in 3 months prior, I wouldn't be able to drink coffee or eat very well or anything just because anxiety usually gets to me really, really bad. But this time I do feel this sense of readiness and excitement and willingness to trust that everything is going to work out better than I even imagined. So yeah, tomorrow I head to Vancouver, see my parents. Next week I leave Pepper with my parents, fly to Iceland, do these 2 back-to-back retreats. And I may or may not film any of it. I may or may not make a video. I'm not sure. I'll just see how things are going. And first and foremost, try to really enjoy being present with everyone there. But meanwhile, this might be my last video for a little while. But I'm excited to later this summer bring you all an update on how things are going and take you along on some new adventures. Thank you so much, everyone, for following along on this little camping trip. I am sending you all so much love. Until next time. Mwah.